Welcome, 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 welcome. You are now in Ray's Juke Joint. I am Ray the Barber. Uh, I don't even know how to even explain how excited I am to be back in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, talking to Eric, talking some ball. It's just been too long. I'm gonna get into why here in a minute. But Eric, good to see you, buddy. How you feeling?
Good, man. Good. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's been a while, but like you and I have, when we've had time, been talking about it every day because we've had so much going on with these drafts. But
I
it's
mean,
good. It's
so
good.
much happening, so much going on, so many drafts, so many just prospect checking, player checking. How many times we're gonna get shares of the same player? All
Right.
kind of stuff. It's just been so much. That's why I named the show "Living in a Fantasy World" because it has been a absolute whirlwind, and I couldn't ask for much better. I think that the juke joint and our show, the pickoff show, are just going to different heights. We got a new logo for the show,
Yeah.
uh, and I appreciate our friend for hooking us up again
Yeah.
with a logo, and
She
I had
does
to
great
show it
work.
off.
She does
Huh?
great work.
She does great work. I had to basically, um, you know, change everything around in my whole life because um, and most of all my closer friends know, and a lot of the scumbags know. But let the audience know that we've been gone for almost a month now because about a month ago, my mother was diagnosed with multiple myeloma cancer. So
Hmm.
it changed my world.
Hmm.
And she has three sons, but I'm the only one here. So it's just falling on me to make sure that she's straight, which I absolutely love because I'm with her all the time. But it's just a change of lifestyle when you get news of that nature and you have to support your parents in such a life changing event, you know?
Well, it's very, Ray, I can remember now. I mean, it was during COVID, and you and I had done some tweeting back and forth, but we never really talked. And you started up at space like one time and you and I just started talking. Nobody else joined. It was just you and I. And we were talking about the difference between Dylan Cease's fastball and Michael Kopech's and like ever since then. But, the first pause you and I took similar situations when my dad got hit with a dementia tag, right? And like it would put my whole world upside down. But when you only have one day off a week, like you got set up now, I mean, on a Monday, I mean, that's got to be, you got to take mom to her appointments. You got to do the stuff. So,
Yeah, that was the thing. I have to take care of my mother, so I made sure that the majority of any of her appointments were on Monday, so I could be there, take her, support her, whatever it is necessary my mother needs. I'm there, right? So
yep.
we're in the process of trying to figure out the best day for the show, which is probably going to fall around Friday nights, Friday evenings, or just evenings in general. Just trying to figure all the logistics out so we can kind of be more consistent. But yeah, Mondays are just like not a thing for me. I just so happen to be able to do it today. Caleb, good to see you. Good to see you. Caleb said, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Uh, um, the main thing for me was trying to just support my mother. But this week, my aunt came in from out of town, and she's here, and she's kind of taking some slack off my back, or taking some things off my plate. So I was able to hit you up and say, hey, let's record because
Yeah,
I'm
we almost jumped on like Thursday night, but my dad needed me. Like so like, it was just
yeah.
like we're struggling a little bit on the time, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure
Yeah,
it out.
yeah, but I mean, I know both of us are chomping at the bit to talk about fantasy
Oh
and your
yeah,
and not necessarily fantasy. I mean, the quote unquote start of the league starts tomorrow.
yeah. I mean,
You
it's
know,
here. Baseball season's here, right?
like baseball season, it starts tomorrow. We got Cubs, Dodgers in Tokyo, which is going to be insane. Shota versus Yamamoto to start the year, um, uh, and I'm excited. I'm gonna get up at 5 o'clock and watch the game. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you and I sometimes we're up that time anyway, talking
Yeah,
about
we're
different
up.
players. So it's not like we have to set an alarm,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, we're up. We're already up talking about drafts and people and things of that nature at 5 a.m. anyway. So might as well just cut the screen on, the TV on, and start watching some real baseball. I'm excited to see Cal Tucker, a couple other guys. You and I have a lot of shares of Cubs. Matter of fact, when we get to one of your teams, we need to figure out what's going on with you. in that particular. Matter of fact, I think this is probably. Matter of fact, let's just do it like this. We're gonna get right to that Yahoo that Yahoo League, um, that we have a co ownership of.
Yep.
But we're gonna get into that. But before I want to get into that, I want to do a couple of announcements, and we're gonna kind of double back on these later. But shout out to Dan Clark of TVL Daily. He's a guy on Twitter. He just put out a post say, hey, I'm willing to come on any show, talk baseball 15, 20 minutes. And you sent me that message. So I reached out to him, and he committed to being on the show sometime this year, which is uh, pretty cool because he has a very, very big following, and he's going to promote the show before he comes on and promote it after he comes on. So this is trying to build our network for one, and build our reach. And it's good to have guys that are willing to reach back once they get a certain.
Yeah. I mean, what a great act by him. Somebody that's done it the hard way, whatever, willing to reach out and try to spend some time with people that are in the game now. It's a great gesture. It's a great gesture.
Yep. And I appreciate Dan for coming back and hitting us up, pretty much immediately. Like it was probably an hour or two went by. He hit me back,
it was pretty fast.
Yeah. So shout out to him. But the big news. Then this is the big news. Okay. And Eric, I don't know, like I'm so excited to announce this. But in April, we get an opportunity. I don't think a lot of people understand. I can't even get it out. So we get an opportunity to talk to front office individuals from the San Francisco Giants. Like we're literally going to sit down and talk baseball with baseball people.
In their office.
I'll
be out of Oracle doing it from there. I'll be right in their ballpark.
Eric is headed to San Francisco, y'all, in April, and we're going to remotely do this show from Oracle Park. I'm doing my freaking best to figure out a way to get my ass on a plane and get out there so I can do it with you. Like legit, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, in the middle of baseball season 2, the Giants are away. They're down playing San Diego at the time. But I mean, I couldn't believe it when the opportunity was presented.
Yes, in the Bay. He would be at McCovey Cove.
Yeah. It was when the opportunity was presented, and my first deal was a little bit of fear, or whatever. I'm like, and then the second I was like, no, can't say no. No way you can say no. So no, we're going to go down and literally chop it up with some business minds from the San Francisco front office. I'll be there 2 days hanging out with them, and I got an invite to the suite to join them their game against Colorado on Friday. So I'll probably do that as well, but it's pretty cool. Pretty cool deal.
Yeah, it's like, that Thursday is the show. We're going to do about an hour. I mean, imagine if Buster Posey just walks down and says, hey, what
that was his name was thrown around once, maybe if I'd been able to join, but we'll see. I mean, obviously he's busy as a new baseball president of operations.
He's super busy. He's probably going to be coming back from San Diego after the
Padres
game.
Probably go down to the games being that close.
We're freaking some people out in the comments. Justin, yes, this is happening. Justin, this is happening. He said we've outdone ourselves. JT Snow, Marco Sicardo, Matt Cain. He said he needs to hit. He's because that's one of his favorite teams. It's also one of Nine's favorite teams. Nine picked them to win the West. Well, not win the West, but surprise and shock out there in the West.
Yeah,
which is I mean, they have a good staff. Their defense their infield is insane with Chapman and Adames over there on the left side. You got guys like Gerard Encarnacion who are young guys. Maybe what Luis Matos has straightened it out, figured it out. They got a huge prospect that has elevated his game at Elio Ramos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I could go on it. So I really love the
They moved Fitzgerald, to second. So I mean, they got some interesting pieces there, and it's a unique ballpark. And
thank you, Southside boys. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Yeah. It is awesome. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, it's just
like I said. So The worst part too is like, I mean, the worst part, good part is like they have their whole studio, their whole thing there, and I'm just basically we're just plugging into their stuff, like
We're plugging into their
flying from
stuff, and
Oracle.
we're
So
going to do a
like,
show from Oracle. And like I said, if I do nothing else in the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to try to find time and take the and hopefully I can. Like I said, that's why I preface everything with my mother comes first, right?
sure,
And then I also have some things going on with my stepfather, so I have to take care of him too. But but overall, this is something that I don't want to miss. But if I have to, I will. I'll be right here,
yep,
and
yep,
it'll be cool. But at the end of the day, I was so happy to share this news. Eric, I appreciate you and the people that you know and the connections you have to give us this opportunity. And man, this is all everything we've talked about.
yeah, insane. And then, like I said, and then to get the invite for the suite on Friday too, like I'll be out there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean, you're gonna be
pretty
sitting in
cool
the
deal.
suite with that's sick. That's sick.
Yeah,
It's sick. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Justin, yeah, Fitzgerald at second. They got many options at first. San Francisco is a darling team,
they,
and I mean, Robbie Ray. What if he's back to Robbie Ray?
he looks. I mean, he looks some. The pitches have looked a lot pretty good in the spring training. They graded out well anyway. Anyway,
Yeah, supposedly they got a pitching whisperer out there. I forget his name. I saw it the other day. Yeah, I read an article about him working with Hayden Birdsong and Kyle Harrison. Um,
and I was have been thinking about the show out there and talking some stuff, and and in a way too, like I'm pretty. I think it's. I think it's a good sign. I think it's the Giants should be rewarded a little bit because if you're in that division that they're in,
mm,
with the Padres on now, their Padres are probably on the verge of blowing up their team.
no,
I mean,
no, for sure. We've talked
yeah,
about them and their
yeah.
contract
But you got
issues.
the Dodgers. The
Yep,
Diamondbacks are young and still have room and growing.
yep.
There was a real chance there. The Giants could have just punted, and they could have said, "We'll see you in 5, 6 years. Let's go back to the rebuild." But instead, they extended Chapman. They
Hmm.
went and got Adamas.
Hmm.
Like they went and signed some talent. So like they're willing to stand up and put up a fight. So
And they got one of the
um,
best closers. Like he's little known, but
yeah,
he's gonna
yeah, crazy
he's
stuff.
probably gonna be a household name this year.
Yeah,
Uh,
he already kind of is in fantasy, but you're
yeah,
right. Around MLB, they're gonna know who he is. I
yeah.
mean, when when nobody's even assuming Duvall, who was great, as a possibility, you know how special he is. So
Yeah, I mean, this is just. I mean, so I can't wait. But that I wanted to get some house, some what do they call it? I wanted to get some announcements out the way.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
what's
want to get
coming
some.
up.
That's what's
Exciting
coming
stuff.
up. So April, yeah, April. Yeah, we'll be announcing it more before we get there. Pretty much every time we get on, just be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a huge, huge show. It's going to be just amazing, just to sit down and talk. Just the front office aspect. That's one of the things that I've fallen in love with since being around you.
Yeah,
And you've ruined, as Justin said, with the stats, you've ruined baseball for him to
yeah.
just be able to watch it and not because he argued me down the other day with Babbitt. But I was like, when the hell you start talking about Babbitt? But he does. I'm just messing with Justin. But at the same time, talking with nephew, he was just I was joking around with him. But at the same time, with me, you've messed up my fandom because all I do now is think about, okay, he's not going to make the roster because he has too many minor league options as opposed to another guy's position that doesn't have any, and they're not going to start the clock. I'm sitting here watching service time or not watch my own freaking clock on
Yeah,
the wall.
yeah. It's no different than. I mean, you probably. I don't even know. I don't know if you put it in, but we could probably segue to it. But
No, we will.
I put out like a month ago, probably what I thought the
Yeah, you put out. It was
opening.
February 21st. I'm about to pull it up right now. But one more time, shout out to Dan Clark. I forgot to put the
Yeah,
banner up. Shout out to Dan Clark of TPL
and we
Daily.
appreciate you.
Yeah, and we
Great
appreciate you,
gesture.
Dan. Can't wait to have you on. Can't wait to talk baseball with you. Appreciate that. But to your point, Eric, let's go over here to this. This was February 21st, people. This was Eric's post on Twitter. Uh, it's important to understand contract service time options when attempting these, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I just saw so many that were incorrect. So
right.
many that had like Colson Montgomery in them, somebody that had Chase Meredith in him, somebody that had the catcher spotting initially, like Quero or Teal, and it's just like you have to understand certain things. Now, the one thing I did here that you're going to notice, and now it's going to be incorrect because he hasn't been traded yet, but back then I thought there was a chance that Robert would have been moved by now. So you don't see Robert's name here, but not a big deal. You replace him with Baldwin and Romas, who both have options, and this is what it looks like. Taylor comes down to the bench. But, I mean, a lot of this stuff is pretty – if you want to guess and you want to put in the work, I try to encourage people to study. Like, I'll give you an example. Everybody's pissed off. Not everybody. Some people don't understand the Maya thing. They don't get it. They don't understand.
I understand it.
I know you do. White Sox signed him like January 8th for $800,000. Do you think they're going to turn around in March? He has no options left, no nothing. Do you think they're going to turn around in March and just cut him and pay him $800,000 for nothing? The second he was signed, when he has no option, and it wasn't a split deal, it wasn't a minor league, major league deal, it was a major league only deal, you knew he was making the roster.
Yep.
You look at Rojas, no options. You look at Vargas, no options.
Well, he broke his toe today. So
yeah, they said he got a hairline fracture. He'd be questionable. So, like, some injuries might change a little bit of stuff, but the layout of this was relatively simple to put together if you have any concept of deal. And part of the reason why you and I started doing this is, I'll be honest, a lot of the White Sox Twitter people that are in front of microphones just don't. Right. They don't get it. And that's the reason why you're seeing a lot of just bad information out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a few back and forths on Twitter the last few days, and I appreciate you being so bold and putting the name out there and putting our show out there. Sometimes you could be a little crass, but at the end of the day, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's crass and I know it's short to the point, but it's just facts are just facts. Like, it's simple. Like, come back and figure it out later. Like,
yeah, I mean, even right now, this is pretty accurate. Lee is definitely going to be catching. Vargas is definitely going to be at first. Rojas is pretty much. I mean, Vargas is at third. Josh Rojas will be at second whenever he comes back. But until then, you're probably going to see Lin Sosa there. Amaya is definitely going to be at short. Benintendi, Robert. We thought he was going to go. I've had some conversations with people about Luis Robert. Possibly. Everything that's happening with the New York Yankees, that came up today. And I'm like, nah, you're talking about who needs to come back? No. If you're going to get anybody, you're going to get Lombard. That's the target. If the Yankees come calling.
That would be the right.
Yeah. I mean, that's number one, right?
That would be the right gap in the age that we've always talked about.
And then people were talking about Seattle. Well, Seattle, they signed Robles. That was one thing that kind of gave away their hand.
And they traded for Randy.
So you got Randy, Robles.
That's another thing I keep seeing. I jumped on some other dude saying, and I'm just like, such a tired narrative. Like, do some research. When they extended Victor Robles and they have Julio and they have Randy Rosarina, and they're not going to trade for a fourth starting outfielder and put him in the DH when they already have Mitch and Cal does it on days he don't catch. Like, come on, like, at least put in some effort,
right?
Or be held accountable. Either one, I don't care.
Yeah, and then like there are other teams out there. I thought like I still was holding out hope for the Phillies to come calling, but they're not. They're fine. They're good.
Yeah,
Cincinnati was another team. Cincinnati was another team, but Austin Hayes come in.
Austin Hayes shut that one down.
He shut that one down. He's now the right fielder. He won that job outright, basically. If you don't have shares in Austin Hayes. I don't know what you're doing.
Especially your deeper leagues.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a league like I'm in right now with 5 outfielders, having him as a 5th outfield option, thank you.
Yeah, in a 14-man league. Yeah,
yeah, thank you. Just other things like that, like he said you're on a mini rant. Eric, they say you're on a mini rant right now.
It's just it gets exhausting. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Part of the
But here's the other thing, and this is kind of where I wanted to talk about with the White Sox before we move on to fantasy. Right?
And here's the other thing. Hold on. I'll just say one more thing to finish off my mini rant.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I post something and you jump on with your opinions, You're full fucking game for whatever I'm feeling that day. You're full blown. I'm going to say whatever I want. Now, if I jump onto yours and put some stuff, I'm going to respectfully disagree. But if you come into mine and you think you have something to say, as far as I'm concerned, everything's fair game.
You're now you've walked into the lion's den and you get what's coming to you.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Luke Rayleigh is out there too in
Dude,
Seattle.
huge. Like, yes.
Yeah, like,
and they have the other first baseman ready to go, and they got Justin's going to know his name better, but Creole Dan started with the CR. He played quite a bit last year, on and off.
In Seattle?
Yeah.
Outfield or infield?
Outfield. He made the depth chart. He'll make it. It's Sirianni or something like that. I'm bad with names.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who the fourth or fifth outfielder was out there.
But here I can show you. I'll pull it up. I think it's Dan. I think it's
Kenzone. Kenzone is
Kenzone. There we go. Yeah.
Kenzone. Yeah. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, he says Kenzone.
Yeah. So like, he's on the list too. Dylan Moore's probably got to make it. Like Dylan Moore plays 1,000 different positions. Like they have no need. It's just lazy takes. But I'm seeing out everybody else.
Hey, Deech said, when would they dump Colas? I cannot stop.
There's another one I was on a rant on about 2 or 3 years ago that I took a lot of heat for on Twitter. Crawford Jr., some other douchebag. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah.
I mean, it's just so much happening.
He's got one more year of options left.
Yeah.
So like they'll keep him down there probably and let him play. They're hoping that maybe he spikes something and gets some trade value. But don't get me wrong, he's on the short list for DFA as this stuff comes up. But they're going to try to trade some of these vets at the deadline, so they're probably going to hold on to anybody with options.
Yeah, and I told somebody yesterday on Twitter on the TL, like, listen, you're worrying about the wrong stuff, right? If you're worrying about winning this year, you have a very skewed reality.
Yeah. What are you trying to do? Win 3 or 4 more games this year? Like, what's the point?
You're not. And I love my boy Nick to death. He's one of my nephews too, right? But Nick, if you're watching, I know how much you love Luis Robert and you love him on the team. But it's not about tearing the team. Let me go on a little rant real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me go on a little rant. And this is something I had to learn. I care more about the front of the shirt than the back of the shirt. Okay.
Right.
That's why the Yankees don't even have names on the back, because it's not about the player. It's about the team. Okay. And here's the problem. A lot of people get attached to players. And I was very much at fault of this for many years.
You were when we first started. Yes.
When I very first started, I was very much that. Until I said, hold on, there may be something to this when it comes to contracts and how front office works. And here's what taught me my freaking lesson. That Yoan Moncada contract and the loss of value in TA and the loss of value in what's his name? We lost for nothing. Man, I can't think of the name. But here's the thing: good front offices, when they have a player, right? You see your minors depleting, right? You see your minors depleting. You see that the core that you drafted and constructed at one point in time 5-6 years ago did not pan out, but a couple of those guys still have value. It's not about tearing down. It's not a rebuild. It's a retool. You have to keep retooling constantly.
If you ever want to compete every single year, you have to be willing to trade household names before their contracts come up. And I don't care who you're talking about. You want to talk about the Dodgers? Where'd Corey Seager go?
Texas.
Where did Cody Bellinger go?
Cubs.
You want to talk about like Corbin Burns last year?
Orioles.
Yeah. You want to talk about Kyle Tucker this year? Like, these are household names. These are big names that these organizations have to let go to recruit. Like,
you have to get value back.
I understand what Justin says when he says that I ruin baseball for him, because when I see players, I don't even see the person. I look at them and I know your contract value is 12. You're an 11. You're an asset that plays on a team that is depleting every game that you play. You're becoming worth less to the team. That's how I watch the games. Um, and I get it. Not everybody does. And for fan reasons, people want different things and different deals. And I respect those people that are going to the games and they want to see different products. I appreciate it. I wish I was in Chicago so I could go to more of the games. But, you're talking about a kid that grew up in Council Bluffs, Iowa with his father, sitting in the back, listening to a boombox that had aluminum foil on a tip that my dad's turning so I can hear every third word for the White Sox. So don't ever think that, it don't run deep in my blood or deep in my veins. It's like I got on a bus from a KMN radio station, went to Kansas City. My dad and I are the only two White Sox fans on the bus back in the George Brett White days. But,
yeah. I mean, my thing is it's he said you're disgusting, but it's yielded 2 championships. I mean, it's true. You are a 2-time champ. But my thing is, if you're going to have a successful organization, and it took me all this time to figure this thing out, you have to be able to say, all right, this didn't work. Which one of these guys still holds value? How can we start recouping the value from that contract? Luis Robert currently is the only player that has a plus value on the team. When I say plus value, it's saying that this guy can get something in return for his contract. Other guys, you're not going to get nothing back.
The only guys that you could get, I'd have to look it up, and I could pull it up, but I don't. I mean, I look at it enough. The other thing, what you're saying is not only correct, but you could get something for Davis Martin. You could get something from Sean Burke, but they have 4, 5, 6 years of control left. So the only contract that's going to run out that has value, that is going to run out before the window's open, is Luis Roberts. That's the only one.
Yep.
And why? And I know most of our listeners now that we've seen have been here, but they signed. You name a player, they signed them to hope to trade them at the deadline this year. That's the only reason they're going to sign anybody. Next year it'll be different. Next year in the free agency, we can probably look at signing maybe a 5 or 6 year guy. But anybody they sign this year, Martin Perez, Michael Taylor, Drury, Toshman, anybody you named, they signed them hoping to trade them. That's it.
Before we move on from the White Sox, I need you to kind of explain. We talked about it on the phone, you and I, because I had a question. I didn't. It's a little bit different than just straight business, economic thinking that I have training in. As far as I'm almost. I should get my MBA and be done with it. I'm only 15 credit hours away from it, but baseball is a little bit different, right? And so everybody's like, sell the team, right? And Jerry's sitting back like, hey, motherfucker, I own this bitch. This is mine. I own it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's starting to let the door open for other people. And what happened was there were some shares, right, that got sold off. And I want you to kind of tell the people what you told me on the phone, how that kind of works and what it looks like, because Jerry is still the majority owner, right?
Yep.
But then you have Ishiba, who came in and kind of did some things. But tell people what you told me.
Well, there's just a lot of different types of deal. When you get involved in businesses and doing different things, kinds of stuff came up. So, what this was here was there was some initial smaller investors had put some money in, and it had come time in February they either had to put money in again to equal their shares or they had to sell them. The way this deal went down, we're never going to get the exact pennies out of this thing, but I'm guessing the gentleman now that was with the Twins, he bought up some other guys. They raised some money. He bought out some smaller minorities to get a bigger piece. And along with raising this money, at some point down the road, at a price value to be determined later, there's going to be a chance for him to purchase the Chicago White Sox. Now, a lot of this deal is going to hinge on whether or not the new ballpark comes or not. Because I know people think that the baseball owner's job and a GM's job is to win baseball games, but that'd be great. But that's not really their job. Their job is to create their branding, create more value, and to make money. Like that, they're running a business. But if the White Sox have a new ballpark, new great lease agreement with the stadium for many, many years, that adds value to the Chicago White Sox. That adds value to Reinsdorf. That adds value to him. So at some point here, they're going to reevaluate. It'll probably be either after this season or maybe even after 2 more seasons. They'll come back to the table. They'll do some business evaluations of this. A lot of stuff will determine in that, how the young kids come along, what's the excitement level around the organization, what does a new ballpark look like, what does the contract and the Greece and deals look like, what's the future books look like for contracts. All that type of stuff will go into a big business valuation, and he'll come up with a proposal, and he'll have a chance to buy the White Sox. That's what this initial deal was about.
Right, and I just needed people to understand it's not an overnight thing. And I thought it was more. I thought it was more of a at the end of the season we're going to evaluate, but it's more to it because there are other pieces that I didn't have. I didn't have the mindset or the savvy of baseball business to understand that stadium thing is a part of revenue as far as value of the team, right? The team value goes up once that gets committed to.
Because if you and I are buying the White Sox, we get the new stadium agreement,
right?
Or whatever with that, so that adds value to the contract.
And I wasn't, and at the same time, we're looking at the contention and how you're going to contend with the players that you have or don't have, and what it looks like from the farm to the major leagues and everything in between. So when you told me that, bro, I started doing research along with getting ready for what's happening in San Francisco. Yeah. It just kind of makes sense to understand baseball business a little bit better. You can scream and holler, boom, 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 sell the team all you want, but that's just not how it works.
And not only that, I just, I know people want to, but if people blame Jerry for the wrong thing, and people aren't going to like this, but I don't care. Like, people are going to blame Jerry for that they don't think that he spends money. And that's just, if you look around other organizations and comparatively, it's not true. If Jerry has a fault, don't get me wrong, he has faults. But one of them has been he's just too loyal. He held on to bad front office people for a long time and put us in this hole. And one of them was his very good friend, Mr. Williams. But, that's the deal. So new owner doesn't mean you're going to write checks. Look at what the Mets did. Everybody thought Cohen was going to go out and, just buy up every single year. You saw that dry up and stop. So if you think you're going to get a rich owner and they're just going to go spend $500,000 in payroll every single year, it's not happening. They're all business people. They're all business people.
But everybody's going to push back and say he went out and got Soto.
Yeah, but they're going to miss the fact that they traded off Scherzer's contract. They had to trade off Verlander's contract. They haven't added a piece since Soto. Everybody's they're just. I guess they did get Alonso back for a couple of years. But if you're going to look at their overall payroll salary numbers, and I haven't even looked at, it's not like he's spending $100 more million a year because he's got it on his baseball and stuff. He had to fire his initial GM. He came in with signing everybody under the sun. He was just writing checks. They didn't win baseball games, and they had to timeout, new GM, restructure, new deals, new things.
Yeah. I mean, so before we move, we got one more thing to talk about with the White Sox before we move on.
All right.
The roster moves that are out right now. This came out today. Prior to the game today, they moved Dominic Fletcher to AAA and sent the young guys to minor league camp. That's Zach DeLoach, Corey Jokes, what's that? Cal Mitchell, Andre Lipkis, Edgar Cuero, Kyle Teal, Peyton Pallette, Jonathan Helsey. I wonder if is he related to my man in St. Louis? I don't know. Mason Adams, Justin Dunn. So all these guys have moved to the minor league. So right now the White Sox have 42 players in camp, 20 pitchers, 3 catchers, 12 infielders, 7 outfielders. And to your point, when you go back to what you said, as far as what the team looks like right now, it's starting to say, okay, so who's the backup for catcher, right?
Yeah.
So then who's the backup for Vaughn at first? and
Yeah.
then you have who's the backup at second, backup at
Yeah.
outfield, right? Or the
Yeah.
who's the utility guy, right? And
Yep.
then you start to see these names down here as far as Tice. He's going to be backing up Corey Lee. He's the vet, right? Slater, Bosa,
Another
but
guy they signed that has no options, that has nothing else. They just signed this year. The second they signed him, you know that he's sticking this year. He's sticking
yeah,
for a while.
yeah. So I mean, and then Brooks Baldwin, and then Lenine Sosa. I think he has one more option left. Lenine does.
No, I don't think so. He's done too.
He's out.
Yep.
He's out. Wow.
So on this list, you have nobody, not a soul has an option other than Corey Lee.
Right.
And
Okay.
then Baldwin and Ramos at the bottom.
And then so the trade bait is hopefully Brandon Drury keeps on doing what he's been doing this spring.
Yep.
He's gone. Mike Topman, if he does remotely anything what he did last year with Cubs / where did he go when he left the Cubs? I don't remember, but he didn't have a bad year. He didn't have a great year. It was just decent. But he'll have value. Michael Taylor, I don't think he sticks around much longer.
Just depends. Somebody might want. I mean,
yeah,
he's an elite center fielder, and he can get you stolen bases. So if somebody in a playoff crunch wants that extra runner and that extra defense, like almost like the kid in Philly, Sosa or whatever. Like, do they want somebody like that?
Or
to fit their need? It's possible. It's possible.
Sosa. Oh, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at. So the White Sox have trimmed down. We got 2 more to go, and then that's it.
Yep.
So I mean, be on the lookout for those moves. The season starts next Thursday. I will be in attendance, along with a lot of the scumbags to be in attendance. So I can't wait to be there. Opening day is sacred to me. As long as I moved back to Chicago in 2019. Well, not whatever, 2019, and I've only missed one opening day since. So I won't miss opening day ever again as long as I live, because it's sacred to me. It just starts my fandom for baseball all over again, along with now being around you guys and getting involved with fantasy baseball, which is completely taken over my world. Living in a fantasy world is the name of the show today. We started early, and we're right at the 3:00 hour. We get all the other shit out the way. Yeah. Now it's time to start talking about some fantasy baseball. And Eric, I'm in 6 leagues total with you, as far as co-manager and my own teams, so on and so forth. Like, we're all over the damn place, and we have to start discussing the teams that we drafted. We need to start discussing some strategy, how to beat ADP, sleepers, all these different things. And we never got back to the outfield, to our top 10. We never got back to our pitchers. The things happen, so we're gonna have to pivot from our rankings. Hopefully next year we can do a full comprehensive ranking of every position. But at the end of the day, there's one particular. I was bullish on this particular team. I was like, yeah, well, whatever. Since we're in it, let's do it, right? So that's the Yahoo Roto League. We finished the draft over there. The fact that Eric called me. You called me up. I want to say it was like 7 a.m. Look, matter of fact, no, you text me. You send me a message. You text me or whatever. It was like, look at this shit. So keepers, right? You get 5 keepers.
No, 10.
10 keep. I'm sorry, it's work. 10 keepers. 10 keepers, right? But then they slot them as to where,
Oh, no, that's a different league. That was a different league. But yes.
Oh, shit. God damn it. I so many leagues. All right. Okay, wait. Go back. Okay, so tell us about the Yahoo League, and then we'll just go.
All right, so the Yahoo League was the one that we were in last year with Doc. They were looking for people to fill in. You and I decided. I asked for the worst roster they had.
And Caleb's in that one too, right?
What's that?
Caleb's in that league.
Caleb
too, right?
joined too after I joined,
okay.
Right, or whatever. Right. So we got into that one, and last year you and I. We were, I don't know, hanging around like 4th, 5th. Maybe could have got our money back, but you and I decided we couldn't win because we took over the worst team. We were going to trade for a whole bunch of draft picks the following year. We had 4 first-rounders, and we had 2 second-rounders coming, which would be 11th rounder, 10th, 11th rounder, 12th rounder. But we had them all coming, and they decided they were going to redraft this year. So they completely wasted the season last year. But we drafted this team. Caleb's in it as well. But it's 10 keeper league. I challenge people. You and I decided probably the year after the first year of doing the fantasy where we didn't do dynasty.
Yeah.
In a scumbag. Mm-hmm. You and I decided this was something we wanted to do was fantasy baseball.
Yep.
So then we've decided we not only get in different leagues, but we want to get in different types of leagues because different types of leagues, depending on the strategy of the league, determines different values of the players and how you're going to go about drafting. And for you and I, that's the big part of it. Like when you got 10 keeper leagues, like you want to have, it's like a half dynasty almost, or like a quarter of a dynasty. So like you want to have some guys you're going to keep, but you also are trying to win now. So that was this league that we drafted. This is Roto. This is not head to head. This is not, this is Roto style. So for the stats, but I can share the squad if we want to get into that.
Please do, because I don't know how you pull this shit off. Yeah, I'm amazed.
Caleb had a great run too.
Oh, Caleb had a great run?
Yeah, him and I were kind of going back and forth talking, but let me know if you can see it.
I can see it. Let's add it to the shades now.
There we go.
There it is. So here's the so here's the problem that I had, and I as I was scrolling through, I said, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 freaking Cubs.
Yeah, I started to text you, and I'm like, man, I got so many Cubs on this team.
Said, why do we have 5 Cubs on a White Sox fans team? Yeah. And then I had to remember, this is fantasy.
This is Roto versus head-to-head, so it's just an accumulation of stats throughout the year. So
it's an accumulation of stats.
I would never want to stack a team like this if it was head-to-head. But like a lot of it was just on accident. Yeah. Like we came around the first round, I take Kyle Tucker.
Yep.
Comes back and take James Wood. All of a sudden we get 3 or 4 rounds later, and like Matt Shaw's still there.
Yeah, Ian
Happ's still there. Suzuki's still there. And then nobody has taken Hap. And I'm just like, I think I took Dansby Swanson in like the last round, 29 rounds in. Like,
do people not read the what's going on with players? Because Dansby he was injured all last year. He had surgery, corrected it. He said it, you when somebody like Dansby Swanson says, this is it. This is like I'm back, feeling back like I'm Dansby Swanson again. You believe somebody like him because he's been to the top. So he's not just, it's just not lip service with him. I don't believe. Not because he have a propensity to get hurt, yeah, but he's healthy right now, and he shouldn't be getting picked last in any league.
And this is, I couldn't believe it. And I kept passing on him because I already had 4 Cubs, and finally I just got fed up with it. I'm like, whatever, I'm taking it. Like, I'm done. But like, this is another interesting twist for people that are newer to fantasy, or you've only played one style of league. Every time you change rules, it's always usually going to benefit the stronger players for one. Mm-hmm. But them coming with a corner infielder, middle outfielder, 2 utility, and 4 outfield. So that's your format. Anytime you come into this type of format, this is going to favor stronger players. On this, because you've got to have some versatility on where people can play and what they can do and the daily lineups of how you're going to set up. So this is a pretty deep starting daily deal for, you're going to have to get 162 games times 4 out of your outfielders.
Yeah.
Because that's once you get to 162 on your outfielder spot, you block it, right? So, but that's times 4. So, I mean, some of these picks I obviously was in love with. Some, it's just people felt him. He was too much value. I'm not a huge Manny Machado guy, but like I took him pretty late as well in this thing. So, but guys that have huge advantages in this league are like Matt Shaw, second base, third base, Brandon Lowe, first base, second base. Guys that can play they can play middle infielder, corner infielder, or any of the positions.
Yeah,
or the utility.
And you have many shares of Bryson Stott.
Listen, I think about all but one league, maybe. That's how much I believe.
He's bouncing back because he had a wrist injury last year.
Injury. I think he's going to run a ton more.
Yep.
I I like his plate discipline. I like his profile for the value of the ADP that you're going at, because the idea of fantasy is not to say that Juan Soto's good. No kidding. Everybody knows that. Nobody cares. Like,
Yeah,
he's
that's
going to
not.
go where he's going to go.
There's no skill in
level on
picking
that.
Juan
Like,
Soto at his
who is
ADP.
going to overachieve and who is going to underachieve? Their ADP.
Yep.
And who do you want to avoid and who are you trying to grab in order to get that? And sometimes we'll get into it again the next thing. Sometimes a guy you didn't want to take has fallen so far that you end up taking him. That's what happened with Manny Machado here. Like I said, he's not a typical guy I would chase in fantasy.
No.
But Victor Robles is, Suzuki is, what I feel about Hap, what I feel about Stott.
Yeah, I didn't realize how good Happy was. Like, he is just like a fantasy stud because he just stuffs stats.
Yeah.
God damn it. He's just a stat stuffer, right? That's what he say at Suzuki, same thing. He just hits all the things. Imagine like, when did you get James Wood? You got him what?
Second, yeah.
So like James Wood, and shout out to Caleb. He took him in the second round in the last league that we drafted together in the BGR league. And I didn't think anybody was going to reach that high besides me. So I didn't go second round for him. I was going to go third round, but Caleb sniped me. But that's neither here nor there. James Wood is, I don't know what he is. I mean, I'm just gonna put it like this: if you want to see a guy that's budding, right? He's starting to bloom into a star, possibly a superstar. James Wood is that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go down to the pitching side here in a minute, and then the big part of this is, again, remembering that being a 10-man keeper league is, I already got a handful of guys you can tell right here who we're keeping, right? Matt McClain, Matt Shaw, Kyle Tucker, James Wood. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm keeping those guys, right? You can already tell it's already built. But, like, I thought we did equally as well down here. To get those kind of offensive deals and come away with Gilbert, Reagans, and Green.
That's three freaking premium 1A, 1A, 2 Springs 2 starters. I mean, but to me, they're all ones. Those three are ones to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can see where the keepers are. You can see where the stuff we're kind of looking at.
And then, if Brian Wu, I remember when you hit me up, you like, what do you think about Brian Wu? I was like, Brian Wu is a fucking monster. It's just his health has just been keeping him behind. But if he stays healthy, he's as good as the ones up top. He's as good. Like, he just never hit 150 innings. If he hits 150 innings this year, his name will be top 50.
Yeah, no, I think he's.
I mean, maybe even depending on, because he doesn't walk people and he has a decent strikeout clip. Mm-hmm. He's worked on a new wipeout pitch. So I mean, Brian Wu is just, matter of fact, it's just Seattle.
If you look at the starters here. Just go to the whip category. 0.89, 114, 102, 0.9. 109.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Gore is the only one at a 142. And, you
like him because
both of us are pretty high on him.
Yeah, he's high. This 142 is not even that bad, but it's the 180.
Now, this is a saves plus hold, so you'll see some guys or whatever here that are maybe combination guys, but that's the only categories they got on here. But this was a Yahoo team we finished up earlier in the week. Caleb was in this one as well.
Okay.
I thought Caleb and I pretty much crushed this draft. I think we'll both be very competitive in this league.
All right, let's move to where you want to go now. Let's go to the 30-man. We finished the 30-man.
I think we kind of already showed that one. You want to go the other one? Let's go the other one.
Which one? TGFBI?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Let's go TGFBI.
That one was a hard, little different one. So you and I were talking today, and I'm like, I think I'm in too many leagues considering I have 2 more drafts still coming this weekend. But this one was an honor, but also like an accident. Like, we had put in a request. I had put in a request for us to get invited, and I wasn't for sure we would, and then we did. So, of course, we participated. This is 15 teams, 30 round. This is Roto as well. Weekly lineups, free agent, FAB. So, I mean, you're going to kind of see here, and we're going to talk about the guy that you
This is
told me
but
yesterday.
remember, we haven't shown this, but we showed it like when we first started. But it's a 2-catcher league. You know, first
Yeah,
base,
this is
second
a
base, third
two-catcher
base.
league. Look, that's the twist with this, and also
Yeah,
they're going 5 outfielders here
right,
with the corner, the middle, and only 1 utility.
right.
So you saw last lineup was 4 outfielders, 2 utility. This is only 1 utility with the 5 outfielders. But you can kind of see where we ended up here. You're going to see some similar names: Victor Robles, Brian Stott, Tyler O'Neill.
Yep. Instead of Josh, we got Bo in this one.
Yep.
Of the Naylor brothers.
Cole Reagans is on both squads.
Yep. I mean,
Reagans. You know what I think about Munoz in Seattle this year.
Yep. You know how I feel about Bybee. I went and got him. I got him in 2 leagues.
I mean, I like our pitching here again. When we got Wheeler, Reagans, Bybee, Ober, Gore. Yep. You're going to see Gore here again. Like, you're going to kind of see the people that, like, who we came up with that we thought would beat the ADP. You're talking about Bryson Stott. You're talking about Mackenzie Gore. You're talking about Victor Robles. You're talking about Tyler O'Neill.
Yep.
Took a couple flyers down here that I'm high on both. Couldn't believe I got both.
Oh, Soroka and Bubic? Yeah.
Yeah. Moving Bubic out of the pen into the rotation. I think he's very interesting. And Soroka, we all know, especially the White Sox fans, like, he looks healthy to me. He looks healthier now. And some of the, I mean, you know, I don't really care about spring stats, but stuff matters. And some of his stuff is back.
The thing about the spring training, people say it doesn't matter. It's not about the stats. It's about the approach that they're taking.
100%. Has anything changed? Is there a new pitch? Is his approach at the plate changed? Like, how is this stuff grading out? I could care less what you're hitting and what you're slashing. I mean,
is your velo
where it's regular season for 30 at bats what a guy was hitting and slashing? I still wouldn't care. Like, some of the newer guys are using 50 rolling wobas and stuff, but I'm still like 75 to 100 there myself. But nobody's looking at a small sample size, especially against minor leaguers, and go, "Oh man, that guy's great. He should be on my team." Like, nobody cares. Like, shouldn't care anymore. Shouldn't care.
Yeah, we got the old guy too.
Yeah, I got him super late.
Sugano.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked good in the spring.
Yeah,
I think he can trick some people early in the season. I never seen him before. First time around. I don't know how he's going to pan out for the long haul. We got a great news here. Speaking of guys you never want to draft, Royce Lewis.
Yeah,
gentleman right here.
Yeah, when that happened,
we never wanted to draft him. We avoided him like the plague, but so did everybody else.
Yep, and here he is with a good thing it wasn't a tear or a rupture. It's a strain. So like that's a good thing. But this draft right here was nerve-wracking. It was moving slow. And, you know, Corbin was kind of like, you know, it was easy. Corbin Carroll, yes, boom. You know, you're getting 30, easy, right? Maybe 30, 50. You know,
we went 112 here, so
we
went Corbin Carroll in the 12th slot here.
Yeah, but it was the strategy of who is gonna outperform their ADP, and that's kind of like the guys that you see as far as like the support guys, like Stephen Kwan, you know what he's going to do, right? But Tyler O'Neill, he's up and down, hurt, not hurt. But being in Baltimore with a lot more protection, they moved the fence up in left field. He's a poolside hitter, right? I mean,
and I think he can DH some there now.
He could DH too, right? So it's just, you know, and then a guy like Trevor Larnach, who for the first week of the season is going righty heavy. And you know he's a left-handed bat that's a platoon bat in Minnesota. So Larnach and Wallner being on your squad as a fantasy owner, like the first few weeks, is valuable. If you watch the thing, we were talking about this earlier in the chat, right? It head to head, it doesn't matter. Roto, whatever, it doesn't matter. The matchups kind of matter when you're setting your lineup, right? So like the first week, I'm gonna be slamming the table telling Eric, make sure Larnick is in the lineup
Yeah.
because it's righty heavy.
Yeah.
I need it because Larnick, he crushes righties. Wallner crushes righties. So, it's just like you have to, take advantage of those little pockets throughout the season as a manager of your fantasy team, as far as setting your lineup to beat ADP. And then once ADP gets out the window, it's like whatever. Boom.
And this was
It's
a
weak.
5x5 roto, and it's kind of old school, but it is what it is. They use batting average, right? So
Yeah.
you're going to see some of the guys on our team here that people might be like, I don't know. But batting average matters. Brendan Donovan, right?
Yeah.
Robles.
Yeah.
Stephen Kwan.
Stephen Kwan. Even
yeah.
Carroll.
So, I mean,
you
we got some holes, we got some weaknesses here, but overall, I'm excited to see how this plays out. I'm a little nervous because we got 3 injured guys now. I drafted 2 injured guys, but
yeah.
But
I mean, Hassan Kim will be back sooner than later.
Yeah, and I know that Murphy, they said 4 to 6, but I wanted the guys. This is a saves only league, so I'm a little nervous there. I took a stab here. Can Bo win the job in Detroit or get some saves, right? Or who was the other one that I grabbed? Maybe I didn't because the way
I don't think you grabbed anybody else.
Maybe I didn't because of the way it fell. Yeah. So we got Diaz and Munoz.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Bo here.
Yeah,
that's where we're going to try to get our saves from.
But it's like Bo is in a platoon closer situation with Foley and what's the other
Horton,
kid?
right?
Horton.
Yeah.
Up in Detroit. Yeah, it's like this. They don't know who is the exact closer, who's the setup guy, whatever. So you might possibly run into some holes. You might possibly run into some saves. So Brisk was a
in a lot of the leagues we ended up in, you and I were first base was one of the last positions we filled.
Oh my God!
Constantly.
Yeah, I didn't. Even in my last league, I just drafted that I finished today. I don't think I picked the first baseman till round 18 or some shit. I mean, if you're not getting Matt Olson, if you're not getting
now this is a 1 year here too, which is
that's a lie. I got Josh Naylor. I'm sorry. Take that back. Josh.
This is a 1 year too, so it's important. This is a 1 year deal. So when you see guys like Sean Murphy and Royce Lewis, where if you're trying to win not only your league but possibly high up in the standings, I'm looking for a freak out year from somebody. Can that be Tyler O'Neill? Can it be whoever the 2 guys I just mentioned, Tyler O'Neill, or can it be a Sean Murphy?
Yeah.
Can Winker have a big year? Can Royce Lewis already answered, but could he have ever stayed healthy? No. Already answered.
I mean, Jesse Winker is interesting because of what happened last year with the team. Does that carry over this year with the Mets? Because they love him. New York loves him. He loves New York. He loves the team. So a lot of times.
And this is another different twist. We only get to set our lineups twice a week. You get to set them Monday through Thursday, and you get to set them for the weekend. Right. So you got to kind of it's going to be a little bit of a different theory here, but we were happy to join.
Yeah, this was fun. This was a fun league to join. This was a fun league to draft. I just wish it was kind of a little bit of a faster process. But again, Ian has a good point.
I should have showed you that. I wonder if I can find that again.
Ian has a good point. It's like, be scared because Detroit isn't going to give you many save opportunities when they win 30 games this season. Yeah. So,
let me see if I can find this. Check this out.
Oh, you talking about?
Oh, yeah, here you go. Look at this.
Who is that?
Look on the far right over here. Look at the average draft times.
Hold on, let me see. Average draft. Oh, where's he at? Where's our guy? Hold on. Where's the wall? Where's the wall?
57 minutes, right below us.
57 minutes, 58 seconds. Yeah, it was excruciating. Hey, shout out to John Wallace. I don't know exactly who you are, but whenever I see you, we're gonna have a beer, but I'm gonna put you in the choke.
Yeah, we knew we had 3 hours. Knew.
It's like, here comes Wallace. It's just, I'm going to bed. It's Wallace. Yeah.
Look at our average.
2 minutes, 53 seconds. And that was only because like sometimes I would call you, you would call me, and we'd be like, okay, where are we going here?
Yeah.
Where are we going here? Where are we going? You know, uh, this league is pretty fun. I can't wait to get into it. Um, this is pretty dope.
Yeah, and every league's got a little bit of a different free agent window too, so it's
Yeah,
interesting. It's gonna be
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So let me go here. So that's the big league. That's our national fantasy championship league. Um, shout out to Ian who wants to tear everything down because it's Detroit. Uh,
I was happy. I was happy he drafted a Cub though.
real quick question for you, E. What minor league player did you draft, and which one that you were most excited about? Because Ian has to run for a second. He wants to know.
Oh yeah. Well, so I didn't have any picks in our league. Um, the guy that I got the most shares of in the minor leagues probably was Benji from the Mets. I was
Yeah,
really surprised he did not go in our league, and you guys saw me pick him up.
yeah,
I like Buckholzer too from Philadelphia for an off the radar type guy if you're getting out of the first round. Burkholder. So like those were probably the two guys, Ian, that I was on, and I picked them up in our league, and I own a few shares across the deal. Trying to look ahead a little bit.
yeah. Carson Bench. This is the guy
Yeah,
you're talking about from the Mets, and
yeah.
then
Benji
Buck
for the
Halter.
Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the most shares that I owned.
Ian said he was sick to his stomach because he had to draft a Cub, but it was a good pick. I'm not gonna lie. So
Yeah, I can't believe I ended up with 5, but like we'll see. I might make some trades and move it or whatever, but
yeah, that's a lot. But to me, and I'm a White Sox fan to my core, like White Sox, right? But when it comes to fantasy, I need to win, and they have intriguing players on the north side.
yeah,
For
like
fantasy.
I was thinking about this today when I was messing with some stuff because our 30 man with Doc and the scout the stat line boys. Sunday you have to put in your waivers and Monday's free for all. Then you're locked out the rest of the week.
Yeah,
So like you have to worry about that one. Then second, like this one here doesn't open till Monday at 3 and it runs through Sunday. So like I started thinking about like which one do I want to win the most this year? If I had to rank them, like which one do I want to win the most? Or whatever. Like, but it's funny because they all mean a little something different.
Well, just as you say that,
Yeah.
you say that, somebody's come in and said, "Future Scumbag League champ in the building."
You guys named your guys' other league, Future Scumbag? When you come back too? You ain't winning this one.
He comes in the door right on time. It's like he waited to comment. He waited to comment right when you started talking about which league you were talking about winning the most. That was perfect timing. Shout out to the Harold's Chicken Angry Hens.
I told him I was
AKA
trying to get him to trade me Gilbert.
Uh-huh.
So me, him, and Caleb were getting ready to draft another league on Sunday.
Right.
And I drew the 1-1, and he's the 1-2. I'm like, I won't take Soto if we can make a deal for Gilbert. It's like, you won't take him anyway. He's like, you care too much about value. You won't take him anyway.
Oh, my God. So you said you got 1-1 in that league? That's one league I'm not privy to, but
yeah, I got 1-1, and
Nine got
1-2.
Shut up.
Yeah, and Caleb got a pretty good spot too. I think he's 8 out of 10. So he got like where you would like. He got that.
Yeah,
like,
I like that
corner.
Yeah, I like that second to last, third to last.
Yeah, we're drafting Sunday in that one.
Yeah, so. but then again, the last league that we're going to talk about now, in the BGR league, I had 8, and I was fucking ecstatic about it as we kept going.
Yeah, you're almost right in the middle, right? Right in the middle. You guys had 14 teams.
14 teams, and 8 was just like a perfect spot. I'm either 8 or 7, 8 or 7, 8 or 7. And it was pretty good. I enjoyed
it. Was super fun for me because I had you blow me up and Caleb at the same time. They're like, "You think I should take Donovan?" You're like, "Should I take Donovan?" They're both saying the same guy. And I'm like, I don't know. Gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and you didn't say shit. Like he's like,
I think I'm gonna take James Woods or Ray's gonna take him. I'm like, probably. I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I was like, dude, like I'm like, and then you're like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like shit, bro. Like fuck it, man.
I mean, I'm not
I'm
gonna
a
rat. I'm not gonna give away anything, but it was just
yeah,
funny because
and
both
I'm
you guys
like
were
this.
texting me
I'm
some
like
of the
this.
players,
I'm
and I was
gonna
like,
pick whoever the fuck I want. Like you wasn't very much against Burns early, and I said no, I'm going Burns. And
yeah,
I should have went Caminero. I should have,
yeah.
but you know,
But that's
I
why we're doing this. We're trying to
yeah
learn. Our goal is you
yeah
and I talk about this weekend is that NFBC main event is in Vegas, right? That's where
yeah.
we're trying to hit. But
We're trying to get in the room where we're in the room with
and we wanted
computers.
to take some of our bumps here. And I made some mistakes in a couple of these drafts too, and it's still a learning process. You knew when you missed junior, you made a mistake in that league. Like that's why we want to do it, and that's why we did a few of these other leagues, like the one I'm doing with Caleb and Nine. That's a 1 year only, which are all of these NFBCs are 1 year redrafts. So
Yeah, yeah. So here's my roster from this is complete over on Fantrax. This is the in the BGR league. Um, this is basically my brainchild, right? I wanted to go about this draft a little different than I have in any other draft, due to the fact that Ian set this up, and it's 5 outfielders, right? It's middle infield corner. So this is pretty much roto, but we're running it head to head. So it's like, okay, how can I week to week win categories every freaking week? And so I just kind of came up with a strategy that I'm getting high average, I'm getting high OPS, and I'm not worried about the big numbers, right? I'm worried about the smaller numbers. Can you out hit me? Can you outrun me? Can you out stolen base me? Can you out average me? Can you out OPS me? Can you out extra base hit me? So those are the 6 categories over on the offensive side. I was like, I'm locking these the fuck down. Maybe even RBIs, right? I'm locking these the fuck down. Like
yeah,
that. And that's how I strategize. And then on the pitcher side, I had one rule. I need pitchers that don't walk people.
yeah,
You can have a high K or not, but if you walk people, I don't want you. I need you to be a guy that pounds the zone, stays in there, challenges hitters, depends on your defense, and then get you some strikeouts at the same time. So that was my rule, and I think I stuck to my rules pretty much the whole draft. I didn't pick my
I just
catcher
want
till
before you
like
go on there, I want to for people that
yeah,
are doing this, what you just said is very, very important. And you and I, before every draft we're ever doing together, if we're ever getting one, like you lay out like a roadmap or you lay out like a plan. And what are you going to attack and what maybe are you going to avoid and what are you not going to avoid? And a lot of that is determined by a few things. It's determined by what you see here 5 outfielders, 1 utility. It's determined by what the categories are. It determines whether it's dynasty or not, whether it's 1 year or not. Like a lot of that stuff can determine what type of players you're drafting here. And you can see what you're talking about by a couple of these guys, like when you get down to like Nolan, as your corner infielder. There's a reason why he's there, right?
yeah. I mean, Nolan Shane, well, he's high average. He does not K,
Yep.
right? He walks a fucking ton,
Yep.
and he gets mad hits. Does he hit the ball over the wall a lot? No, but he can, right? Xavier Edwards is high average. He doesn't hit
Yep.
the ball over the fence, but he slaps the ball to all fields, right? He's always on base and he steals bags, so on and
Yep.
so forth. And I don't think anybody in this league will beat me in bags in any week because of like just the amount of bag stealers I have on my team. Um, but this guy, we have shares on him in a few leagues, and I was the one that said, hey, have you looked at Taylor Ward lately?
Yep.
And, and I sent you like his savant, and I sent you his fan graphs, so on and so forth. And Taylor Ward is like flying under the radar out there in Los Angeles, but
Yeah.
he is solid.
Yep.
I mean, his ADP is 155, so he ain't that far under the radar, but he is a contact guy with power. You know,
I think
um,
he is
go ahead.
more well respected in the fantasy world than he is in the baseball world. Like he don't have like a giant name, or whatever. But like you said,
Yeah,
if you look at these kind of the slash lines of 250, it's going to hit 25, 75, 70, whatever, like 64 walks. Like he hits a lot of the categories.
yeah. I mean, my utility guy I had to walk away with was Brent Rooker. I had him targeted. for the round I got him in, which was the fourth round, and
Yep.
I'm happy I got him. People can argue that Ozuna's better, or um,
Well, he
what's
also
his
got the
name?
outfield tag there, so you're not stuck
Yeah,
with
I'm
him in
not stuck.
utility.
Yeah, yeah. And so, like, number one pick was Ellie. I don't know how Ellie fell to 8 to me, but he did. So thank you. People are bullish on Jake Berger. I don't know why. He's in Texas. He's protected. He's in a better ballpark. He has. He's in a better in a better situation than he's ever been in his life. He's happy. He just had a child. Jake Berger is about to freaking rake. Just put that out there. Josh Naylor, like I said, I picked him early. Ivan Herrera, I've been talking about him for months. Eric can contest to that. And
Yeah.
I finally was able to get a share of him. Hunter Goodman is another name that people are going to be like, okay, why would you draft him? Wait till later on in the year. He has a catcher designation, and he's been raking in the spring. He has always been a high prospect. He just hasn't been able to put together. I think he has this year. And look down here, Nico. Look who's on IR. Oh,
Yeah.
Nico. Give me the 151 hits, the 280 average. Give me that. Give me the
Yeah, I mean, he
84
throws
runs.
30 bags and he don't K. There's a couple of guys on here that are very important to balance out your lineup because, if as I was looking at it and you were building it, like strikeouts are definitely a thing. When you have Duran, Hap does K, Ellie
Mm-hmm.
Ks, Berger
Mm-hmm.
Ks, Rooker Ks. Like you start looking at some of these guys, you're like, you might have to just eat the bullet on them. But then when you go get Xavier Edwards, you get Nolan, you get
Robles,
Horner,
Austin Hayes,
some of
Horner,
these guys, or
they
whatever,
don't
you can
K.
mix and match that to kind of balance that out to bring that down a little bit.
Yep. I mean, Josh Naylor is a slugger, but he don't K. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But
yep, yep.
a lot of people on my list don't walk. I mean,
And just so they understand, in this league, strikeouts is a category. So, like, it
yeah,
matters. It's not everything else. Like, a lot of these Ks aren't a category. It just goes to
right.
ODP or the average. But
This
K is
league,
a
this
category in your guys' league. So,
yep, this is. And then if we go down to the pitching staff, like I said, my number one. Oh, let me just talk about the fucking monstrous job I did in the minors. This
I
is a
couldn't believe
dynasty league, people.
Walcott fell that far and Jesus Made fell that far. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I think I got Jesus made in the third or fourth round.
Dude.
No, maybe the second or third round. I don't know. I don't know. But Sebastian was my number one pick. Braden was 2 or 3. So between Jesus Made and Braden was right in there. Um, Franklin Arise, Brock Wilkin, people forget about him, but
Yeah.
because he was hurt. Curtis Meach, he's just been ripping it up. So I'm gonna take a flyer on him. And, Robert Hassel ripping it up. He was a top prospect for them. So, but then you go down here to this is my other strategy was, and I didn't discuss it. I'm punting saves. I don't give a fuck about saves. You can have
Yep.
saves, but you're not going to beat me in ERA, and you're not going to beat me in WHIP. That was my thing. These guys, look at the walks. You got 191 innings projected, and you have 185 Ks, but only 57 walks. Same with Bryce. Don't walk. Pivetta, don't walk. Spencer Swellenbach, don't walk. Brian Wu, don't walk. They don't walk people. I love it. I love that from a fantasy standpoint. I need my whip to stay low. And then I just said, you know what? I'm going to build the best setup, high leverage bullpen I can. Adam, Cano, Gaddis, Brash. So
Yep.
that was my strategy. I knew I was gonna stack up offensive early and then get pitching late, and I was able to do that um, with the setup men rather than go closers, especially when the closer run happened in like the fourth fucking round. I was like, damn, we going closers already? Like third, fourth round, it was like Clase, Miller.
Yeah,
Uh,
that should never happen unless you're in a saves only league.
yeah, and that's
But
why
when
I
you're
was like,
saves in a holds, they never should have went that early.
yeah, so I pivoted. I said, no, I'm not going there.
Yeah, yeah,
Since it
yeah.
started happening early, way before my picks, no, I'm okay. I'm pivoting. I'm getting all offense. And then later on in the rounds, I'll start getting some host guys and just say fuck saves. And that's what I did. Like, forget it. Forget saves. I'm fine. I don't need saves. I'll get holds.
And a lot of times you're 14 teams deep. Some of those concessions sometimes got to be made.
Yeah, and that's how I felt about it. There's so many teams. I can't win
You and
every
I talk
category
about it all
every
the time. I
freaking week
think it's much more important to have great strengths than it is to be 100% balanced and be a little
across.
weaker everywhere.
Absolutely, that's what I wanted. I wanted strengths on top of strengths on top of
Yeah.
strengths, and you're not going to beat me in hopes. You're not. I'm sorry. Everybody in the league, you're not going to beat me in hopes. And then I just went, with some of the guys. And Grant Taylor, let me just say this, and it's not because I'm a homer of the White Sox. I am a homer, but I'm not going. He says, "Show. I'll show your team. Give me a second. Give me a second, man. I'll show your team." Um, Grant Taylor, if people don't remember, was on the same team as Paul Skeens. It was Skeens, Taylor, Taylor, Skeens. You could put
Mm-hmm.
whatever. You could put either one, two, 1, 2. They were the ones who punched at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Who had better stuff though? All around, better stuff. Grant Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the better pitcher. Now has Skeens grown into the best pitcher that we've seen in a while, and he's like the number one pitcher coming off the board, so on and so forth? Yes. But because Grant Taylor got hurt, does not diminish the fact that he was a badass in college that was right there with Skeens. They were together the best. You know?
The White
And
Sox
the
have
White Sox,
got.
they got him what, in the third round?
No, it took him in the second round that year.
Second round, okay.
He was coming off of Tommy John. They overpaid him. They overpaid Slap for him because they wanted him. But they've got with Schultz, who, by the way, just want to let everybody know.
Oh my God, did he look good?
You and I had him number one prospect before anybody else ever had him number one prospect of the White Sox. So finally, everybody caught up there. But Grant Taylor, Hagen Smith,
yeah,
Noah Schultz. That's hope finally for the White Sox.
That is hope. That's hope. And Justin said something about George, Big George, 6'7".
Yeah.
220.
Yeah.
Just he's there. Wokow is not somebody to sleep on. Chase Meredith is starting.
Well, I think you and I had Wokow last year, and I think in the top five or six.
We had him top 5 when we did our projections.
When we did our
when we did our minor league, when we did our very own minor league rankings. Yeah, he was top 5. But now you add in Meredith, you add in Montgomery, you add in and let me just say this name, Riku. He's gonna be in AA. What's his last name or first name? However you do it. But Rikuu. Make sure you White Sox fans know who that kid is. He is going to be the everyday second baseman up here. Just trust me when I tell you. You want to talk about
you've always liked him. You've liked him for a couple of years now.
For a couple of years. Tadahito Iguchi is him. He is him. Yeah. Same person. Like it's legit to state that.
Since a lot of the boys are here, I'll give you the two biggest underrated sleeper prospects in the White Sox organization is Jarrell Perez and Samuel Zavala. Those are the two. Just the fact that they're not even mentioned with some of the other guys, and some of the guys they are mentioning. I don't want to go into that because I don't want my tweets to blow up, but my inbox to blow up. But if you understand what makes prospects successful and what it is and what the tools are, those two are very special. And I'll give you another fifth name. It's that Sam Anacotti they took out of Coastal Carolina in the 5th round.
Yep.
He's got that tool about him too that I think those are the 3 guys. If I had to pick 3 guys that are under, you guys know, I think MLB pipeline for ranking of prospects is trash. Old school trash. That's all it is. I hate it. And I would take those 3 guys with Wokow and Braden Montgomery as the top 5 offensive, prospects in the White Sox organization.
Yep, Jarrell Perez. Make sure y'all watch him. He's in high A, or is he?
He'll probably start high A, I would guess.
Yeah, high A.
He came over to Dodgers trade last year with
Yeah,
Vargas.
yeah,
And
and
I don't mind the other piece they got. And the guy they got from the Phillies don't look too bad either. Like, there's a
and
little
guess
more than some of the people they're counting on for offense. Like, I just want to throw up in my mouth. Like, well, Lean Sosa ain't bad, whatever. Like, he's
yeah,
fine.
no,
I'm like,
no, no, no.
nah.
Guess who was
Listen,
playing? Guess who was playing center field in the Futures game yesterday?
yeah, Braden was right. Didn't they have Braden Montgomery in the center field? They did for a while. Yeah, they did. They ended up putting McClain in later. Is what you're going
Yeah,
to tell me.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I was trying to tell you.
I think
Yeah,
Braden
Braden
started.
was there, but then Braden,
Yeah, they put McClain out there.
yeah,
Again, I think he was a third-round pick out of Arizona. Arizona State. The people don't know, that's Matt McClain's brother. Like, he was a senior. That's why he went down. But, like, all of these guys had a similar profile of the reason why I said Oscar Colas would not make it. The reason why I said that the other guy that everybody still has in the top 100 prospect isn't going to make it. Like, these guys, the new organization has got a type of player, and I'm excited about it.
yeah. I didn't even change the banner. I was talking about the BGR, my BGR league. Shout out to the bad guys. Shout out to Ian, Justin, Nine for putting it together. Let me just show
I
this.
couldn't believe you guys ran that deep and that many starters. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So let me just make sure I show this so Nine doesn't fucking yell at me later on
Yeah, let me
today.
see it. I
Yeah,
saw Justin's because Justin texted me his squad. I
yeah. I'm
saw
gonna show
yours. I
you.
saw Caleb's.
I'm gonna show you Nines right now.
I haven't seen Nines.
It's the same team he got over in fucking.
Did he make another terrible trade and move up for Soto and give up the world again like he did the first time?
He didn't give up the world this time, but he
All
did
right.
trade up. He did trade up, but at the same time, Nine built a really really good team, but it kind of mirrors the same team. There's a lot of players he has in SBC that he has over
Yeah.
here. So you got Contreras.
That's one thing. It's one thing I find myself struggling with. You were talking about it earlier. Like, I kind of like who I like, and I end up with a lot of players with the same guy. Like,
and I went an opposite way.
My dude this year. Like, I have Bryson Stott everywhere.
Yeah, I went an opposite way, but I had to have a couple guys. I would have had Donovan, had Caleb not snipe me. I had to have Big Mike. That's my guy. So that's kind of how I built my team over there. But here he is, Contreras. He loves William Contreras.
See it. You don't have it up.
Bush, Geloff,
I can't see it.
Oh, you don't see it?
Uh-uh.
I don't know why you can't see it. It's on my screen.
Is it everybody else's screen? It's usually in the middle. I don't see it.
Hey, you guys, are y'all seeing it at home? If you're in the comments, just put it in the comments that you can see Nine's team. I don't know why Eric can't see it. Let's see.
There you go. Now I can't.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. So yeah, here's Nine's team. He's once again, Contreras.
Yeah. Michael Bush, I'm a little nervous about there. I know it's strong side platoon, but it looks like he's going to platoon with Turner.
You think so? I thought Turner was going to be platooning over on third.
No, Turner's already – Bush ain't playing the first game.
Oh, shit.
They're sitting him out. Turner's playing first, so it sounds like it's a strong side platoon at first, and Matt Shaw's just going to get to play. So I messaged him the other day and told him, I don't know if he ever saw it, but I sent him a message. He got your guy, Baum. I like Alec Baum this year.
This year, Alec Baum is not that. What you see on the screen, yeah, the 280 average is that, but I think you're going to see less hits, more runs, and more RBIs. Maybe
having
more RBIs.
Soto and Jordan is special.
Yeah, that's pretty special.
Yeah. Hopefully Jordan's knees hold up.
Yeah, he went 1-2 with them.
Yeah,
he went 1-2 with them.
I like Garrett Mitchell.
And then then he had the nerve to go get the other Contreras, which was kind of fucking. I was like, he did what?
I like that. Not only that, that's going to help him because that'll become his first baseman if he does have the strong side platoon there. He's got O'Hearn and he's got Wilson will get the first base tag.
Well, he may not have it week 1.
Right.
He'll definitely have it week 2.
Yeah, he's got a lot of first basemen here though. Chris Bryant, really.
Yeah, he does.
Chris Bryant, like really.
Yeah, he went Chris Bryant. He's got big Christmas.
Did he draft Joey Votto too? I mean, Chris Bryant might be Votto might put up better stats than Chris Bryant this year. Maybe be close.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't believe you just said that
Who's he
on
got for
live.
pitching? What do you do for pitching?
No, I'm just shocked you said that on live. Like we're live right now, and you said that shit. That's crazy. I can't believe you said that. Oh, South Stewart, Stalin Kaba, Justin Crawford. There he is. He just lost Tobias Myers. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, that hurt us too in our 30. We got him.
Yeah, we got him in the 30. Taj, Justin, he got both of them in the scumbags. Logan Webb, Johan Duran, Jeff Hoffman, Luis Hill. He's got to put him on IR. Nestor, Dustin May is interesting. I think he's the fifth starter out there.
No, they're saying it. They're saying it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it is he has a strong but he doesn't have any minor prospects. He did all.
Man, I kind of see what I see in this other team. I see some pieces I really, really like, and I see some gaps a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just he told me to put this up because he said he watches me across the board in a lot of categories, and I don't see it. I'm sorry.
I hate Zach Geloff.
Yeah, I don't. We shall see. We do play each other soon, so I play him week.
I mean, some of these picks I absolutely love, though. I love the South Frelick. I love the Garrett Mitchell. I love the Wilson Contreras. I love the Lamont Wade. I see where he was going with all that. A lot of that makes sense. I do not understand.
I think he picked him up on. I think he might have picked him up on. I think he might have picked him up on waivers.
Oh yeah, maybe injury wire move or something.
Yeah, I think that's what.
But I mean, this league is a little deeper than ours too.
Yeah, it's 14 teams. It's also a different.
Does he have another option at second base besides Geloff? I didn't see another second baseman. Did I miss it?
I don't think he does.
I saw 19 first baseman. Did you draft no other second baseman?
Nope. No second.
Yeah, roster construction, buddy. 9 roster construction. You have no second baseman. You have 1. He's not even good.
I think that. Let me just show you how this works over here. Let me stop sharing for a second, and then I'll share it because this was my apprehension about this league, but I only did it. I love this league because it's going to be fun. It's challenging. It's different.
No, that it's all you guys are still, talk all the trash and hang on all those spaces and all this shit. It's gonna be electric. It's gonna be electric.
Yeah, I love, and then we added on, like Guido, we added on Rob, we added on Six, we added on Wyatt, who is Ian's brother. We got a lot of new faces over here in the BGR league. I do want to show you the summary. Because this fucked me up. I was like, what are we doing here? Let me go.
Yeah, you told me about some of the scoring categories.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, that's how we're going to do it. That. How can I do it on here? Oh, okay. Hold on. Present. Man, this is fun. The board was, he said everything is setbacks. Okay. I mean, and Chris Bryant. Oh, he traded for Jordan. He did trade for. I forgot he traded for Jordan. Shout out to Nine. He traded for Jordan, right? Like in the middle of the draft, he traded for Jordan. He said everything is setbacks. He said the board was screwed up. It was fucked. But like you're not gonna beat me. I'm sorry. You're just not. It's not. It's impossible for you to beat. All right. So hits, runs, home runs, RBIs, walks, strikeouts, stolen bases, average, OPS, extra base hits, errors, and fielding percentage are all offensive categories. And then on the pitching side is wins, quality starts, saves, holds, hits, ERA, walks, Ks. Oh, yeah, that's word. Not hits, earned runs, walks, Ks, ERA, and WHIP. And I was like, what hits is actually in WHIP? Like, why are we putting that there? Right? It says it's
WHIP is walks plus hits and innings pitch. You got them all in the same category. But that's right.
It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun to try to navigate this new league. Like, this is fun. Like, it's gonna be fun. I still think that I drafted well. Caleb drafted well. Shout out to,
I hate the errors in the fielding percentage categories. Like, The only reason is, how do I want to say this? But you got somebody like Kyle Schwarber, who
Yeah,
technically, now maybe not him. You talk about Rooker. Okay, Rooker's
yeah,
got the outfield tag for you,
yeah.
so you can put him in the outfield even though he DHs every single day. He has no chance to ever make an error. You could have stacked your team with like guys that are just DHs for the most part, and like you could have never made an error or whatever. But hey, listen, it's something different. Like
Yeah,
you
it's
said,
some
it's gonna be a
it's
crazy league. It's gonna be fun.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be shit talking. It's gonna be all kind of things. It's gonna be cool. Like,
Yeah,
along with the what else we had to cover? Oh, the you say you didn't have any picks in the in the minors in the scumbag in our home league.
right.
I did have some picks, and let me just say this before we move to SBC. Hey, Eric, I got Sebastian Walcott at 8 in the minor league draft.
Yeah, and then you went. I think you told me you went Brad Montgomery, and then Jesus Made was still there, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
And you
yeah,
got Grant
I
Taylor.
was, and I got Grant Taylor. Yeah,
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 it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. I raked in the minors. Like Franklin Arise, you know, you know, sweet. Uh, I end up getting, so in the scumbag league, I end up getting Seaver King from the Washington Nationals. I end up getting I got one more player. Who the fuck did I get? Who was my number one pick? I'm trying to bring it up, but it's like my shit is running slow. Um, I end up Connor Griffin. I got Connor Griffin. Yeah, yeah, I got Connor Griffin and I got Seaver King. And before all of that, before the draft even started, I dropped somebody and I picked up Chandler Simpson because I think Chandler Simpson is Luis Ariz with better speed and more pop. So
Yeah,
that's just how I.
it's interesting. I mean, he can flat fly, and
Yeah,
if anybody's going to make that work, it's Tampa Bay, right? Like organization is important when you're drafting, guys. Like, can they make stuff work?
yeah.
So I mean, Tampa
Um,
can make it work. There was 3 guys that I was. So I was supposed to have the very last pick of the 3rd round. 9 wanted to trade me because he's afraid I was going to snipe his guy that he wanted. So
hmm
I went ahead and I go, I go, if I don't take him, he's going to be in a free agent. He's like, just trade me. I'm like, all right. So whatever. We swapped thirds for next year, but Binge and Brookholder were the 2 guys, and I ended up picking up a 3rd guy, I think, too, but that I liked. But I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm still trying to decide. I know you love the dynasty. I'm starting to think there's something to like this 10 keeper league or like half dynasties. Like, we'll see how this year plays out, but
yeah,
I think I might like the combination.
I like the dynasty because like you like I think, and this is kind of what I'm gonna propose next year in the SBC, that instead of we outright waivers, we incorporate FAB or
Yeah,
FAAB, right?
yeah.
That would make it a little bit more challenging to everybody because it will be 3 years into that league, and if we incorporate free agent auction buying, then I think that's how I think that is free agent auction. It might be, but whatever it is, we incorporate that. That changes things. That changes the league a little bit.
Well,
You
I'll
know.
tell you something else, and this is just me, and you know me. Like,
But I need you to bring that. I need you to bring that other league up you're in, so we can talk about that because I need to understand it more. I need you to bring up your your free agent slash auction league where players have money value.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we got to
So
talk about that because
let's do
we're
that
like.
next show because that's probably a show in itself.
Well, I
But
just
that's
want to
it.
touch on it because this is our fantasy world here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so I did an ESPN dynasty, but it's with contract values. So you have to stay under the cap before you go in the draft. So people are cutting people. And last night we did the auction version of the draft, and whatever people go for ends up being like their value of their contract. So when you're trading, you're taking on their contract as well. Something else. So, I took over a team. I asked for the worst team again. I'm kind of up against it a little bit. I got a couple interesting pieces. I have Cruz, and I have Simpson, who I like from the pitching staff. So I'm trying to build around them. Trying to do a little bit of unique stuff. But, I can see if I can grab it. But what's interesting during this is during the season, the salary cap goes away. So it's only before you draft.
What the value of players is only before you draft?
So let me see here. Let me present this. We can just do it.
Yeah, you're
up. Share screen.
Yeah, let me see. Once I see it, I'll put that on the big screen. This one was interesting, and I almost joined it with you. I was like, man, I'm in too many leagues, but now I'm in one league.
I got so many, but all of them got different stuff, and all of them making it interesting.
Yeah, but it's like when I told you I didn't want to be in it, I was only in like 3. Now I'm in 6, and so I could have just got in this one. Like, what's 6 to 7? What's 7 to 6?
Yeah. Well, let me see if I can get this to work. It hides players' values, which I don't know, but I think it'll show mine.
Oh my god!
Nope, it's not showing mine. Oh, because I don't have anybody as a keeper. That's why. But you have a 450 budget on this, and you have to cut down before the league starts, and you have to be able to. So, like, if I go to my squad, you're going to see. So, keep in mind, this team's going to look a little rough, but you're going to see a little deal. But I did take over the worst. But
you got Ivan too.
Yeah,
Ivan is a dog.
Garcia, Mason Wynn, Quan, Dylan Cruz is one of my big pieces. Surprise, surprise! I got Bryson Stott.
surprise! Yeah.
I got Braden Montgomery. This is a dynasty. It's set up a little bit different. Keechaw.
Why did you go Connor Wong? What was the thought process behind Connor Wong?
I had him. He was on the team. I didn't cut him.
Oh, okay.
I inherited him. Evan Carter. Schwarber's got a high salary. So, this is somebody I'll probably move for extra draft picks to tear down, at some point. I got Caleb Durbin last night. I like him. Even though I heard about the back news today. So, my Wong Lee theory might end up backfiring.
Jung Ho Lee got a back issue? I didn't see that.
Yeah, MRI. They think it's worse than it is. He's off for an MRI.
Fuck, this kid just got here and he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, so I hate my pitching other than the youth.
Ober and Imaga I like. Lodolo is coming back.
Weathers Martinez, what I think about him, especially his whip.
Yeah, you like Martinez.
Yeah. But I'm really excited about Matthews, Hagen Smith, Thomas White, Simpson. You got Sproat too. I'm trying to get there with a core or whatever.
Oh, and Chandler. You got Chandler.
Yeah.
Wait, you got Quinn Matthews, Hagen Smith, Bubba Chandler, and Brandon Sproat and Thomas White. That's a fucking starting 5 right there.
Yeah. Not so you can see where I'm trying to build this back up, or whatever. Then on the offensive side with Dylan Cruz on this side, is kind of going to be my leader over here. I'm hurting a little more on the outsides, but some of these guys like Schwarber will go. I'll be able to trade because he's got a big salary, but now salary don't matter. I can get younger, get some more tools. But Caleb Durbin, I like. Then down here, I got, how much I like Kevin, so he's on the list as well. Here's Horowitz, who's hurt. Antron Kim's hurt.
Oh, you know what? When are they saying Spencer's coming back? Because I think they said he's starting to swing the bat again.
I heard he was at least hitting off a tee. I heard that for sure.
Okay.
But this is kind of, like you said, this was my bread and butter. I kind of built it around the young pitching to try something different here to be able to hopefully snap back in this next year. I'm going to have my work cut out for me this year in the head-to-head. But I'm going to try to compete for a while, and then eventually I'll probably have to end up selling some of these pieces. But
yeah, but you knew that coming in.
I asked for the worst team. I knew what I was up against, and I enjoy the rebuild. I do.
Yeah, I mean, because you have assets now,
Yeah.
and I like the pitching. You almost look like the White Sox over there.
Yeah, a little bit, right? I got
like
you're young pitching, but
yeah, young.
I got Herrera last night for like $5. So like every year the salary goes up. Dylan Cruz is only at 7, so I can have him for years. Quan isn't much. Like you can see here. Let me. You know what? We got time, right? You got time?
Yeah, I ain't doing nothing. It's 4 o'clock.
Right.
I ain't no shit.
Let me see if I can go do this again. I will see if I can. How can I? All right.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Now you see over here on the left, you see the dollar values.
Yep.
So I guess Herrera was 6. Matt Castle was 7. Mason Wynn I got for $7. Quan I got at 10. Buxton, I'll be able to hopefully trade him if he can stay healthy. Stott at 17 is a little higher, but Dylan Cruz is only 7. Edmonds only 4.
Edmonds only 4?
Yep. Evan Carter's only 10. Schwarber's 43, so I'll be tossing him. Johnny the India I got for $2 last night. Durbin I got for 5. I got him coming for 4. Spencer's in for 4. Down here in the pitching, what I'm really going to love is you're going to see all these young guys. Look at this, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So I'm going to have a lot of cap flexibility with a lot of young talent here or whatever. Then I'll trade away Hader. I'll trade away probably Imanaga as the season goes on for some more young talent, some more draft picks, and try to build it up from here.
Right. So. Yeah. I like it.
It's another twist. I'm trying to play as many different formats as I can. I might have overdid it this year, but
I kind of wish I was in this one with you now that you've done it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to overthink it. I was overthinking like how much time and effort I would have to put into it. But now I didn't committed to the BGR league, and then this other league I got. It's just so much. It's too much. It's too much.
It is too much. And then what's a different like? I see why a lot of people do the just drafting holes and don't have to do anything all year, because I love the drafting part, but the maintenance it's a lot.
It's a lot, especially head to head, week to week. That's just like you gotta check your lineup, especially head to head with daily changes. That changes everything.
Well, I'll tell you something else we should do in the Scumbag League, because we got to flip something to make it more competitive, because Caleb ain't going to move off of his Rockstar team. I traded away about everybody that I had, but I reflipped, whatever. I think we should lock the minor leagues.
No, I said that. I'm putting that out. I already said it. Like 15.
That way 15. The up-and-coming people that didn't get drafted, they're in next year's draft, and makes your draft picks worth more. It'll stop people from you and I that study every day just stacking our minor leagues. So it's like the up and Caleb other deals, and everybody will have a shot at them. For example, Christian Campbell was available in one of the drafts I was in because they locked it before the season started last year, and nobody had him on his roster. So, right there's an automatic 1-1 guy. You know what I mean? I think it'd be a good twist to help balance out the and if we could stop Duke and Jay from trading, that also would help balance the league out.
Well, I don't know if we can ever stop those two from just doing.
I don't think we can ever stop.
They just have a trading carousel between the two of them.
Yeah. So I got 2 more drafts. I got the one I'm in with 9 and Caleb. That's just a 1-year battle it out. Then the other one you brought up, which I think is super interesting, a White Sox guy that I follow on Twitter. He's ran the league for a long time. It's a 4-person keeper. And wherever you drafted that person, you get to pick them again in that round. So I have James Wood in the 22nd round.
It's insane.
I have Kyler Tucker in the 14th.
Insane.
I have Greg Olson in the 7th.
No, Matt Olson.
I'm Matt Olson in the 7th, and I have Bryce Miller in the 8th.
Yeah.
So that's my starting roster. But then I get to draft 1 through whatever for the rest. Adding to that core. Then I'm going to get to keep Wood at 22 forever.
Yeah.
I get to keep Tucker at 14 forever.
At 14, insane.
The only interesting choice I had to make, and you and I kind of talked about it, was I could have had Ohtani the pitcher at 12.
Well, I hate to break it to people, and I said it last year, and I'm
You
saying it
did.
again this year. The Dodgers have a very tough decision, and I think it's going to come to the Dodgers saying, "Give me the baseball. You don't need to pitch. We don't need you to pitch anymore. You got Roki, you got Yama, you got all Dustin May, you got freaking Bobby Miller, you got all these guys over there. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Glass now, whoever else. Like, why would I keep risking your health? Yeah, I know you can blow your arm out again, and you can put a brace on, and you can still hit. But why risk that to pitch for no reason at 31? Going to be 32 years old.
Yeah, well, they already said he's probably going to run less this year. I mean, I told you this the other day. Like,
Right?
if I had Otani, I'd be number one trade block because I don't think he's going to pitch much, and I don't think he's going to run as much.
He's not.
Like last year was a little bit of a unicorn season because he didn't have to worry about pitching, so he could just go full blower on the offense, and
Yeah.
it's not going to be the case this year.
Yeah, and even this year, if he does pitch this year, he probably pitches 15 games, if that.
Yeah.
If that. Is it worth it? Is it worth him pitching 15 games?
No, because the other thing too is you think they're really going to worry about sending him out in the sixth inning for a quality start?
Nope.
You think they're going to worry about any of that stuff? And the only thing they're trying to do is get him to pitch in the postseason.
Yeah, he'll get one. He'll get 4 innings, maybe 5 max. He'll never go more than that. So innings limit, Otani is not worth it. And then the amount of times that he does go, is he a 6 starter? Is he a 7 starter? What if he's a 7 starter? Like it's not.
I have a funny feeling it might drag all the way to All-Star break, and then they might almost start him with spring training, and then like he's going to be ready to roll for like the playoffs, and like
yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know if this year might be the last year you see Otani pitching. So that's just how I feel about it. That's how I felt about it last year.
Yeah,
if it were me,
I threw Otani, the pitcher, back into the pool. I could have took Jordan in the first, but I didn't want to give up the chance that the randomizer would spin 1-1, and I took Jordan. So I can get Jordan probably anywhere in the first round for the most part if I wanted to.
Yeah, and what's funny is since we're talking fantasy, we're living in the fantasy world. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Thank you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button for us. We need to just kind of get our numbers up a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. If you're on X, man, thank you guys. If you're family, thank you for always supporting. If you're a scumbag, thank you for always coming to the juke joint, drinking with us, so on and so forth. Thank you guys. But the thing about Otani, in fantasy, most leagues have an option to split him into 2 people, or you get him as 1.
Right.
And I don't like the split into 2 people, but it makes more sense to do it. But at the same time, I like having him as 1 because now you have to deal with what the Dodgers have to deal with as a manager in fantasy.
Yep.
You do. You got Otani. He is Otani. He's one person. It's Otani. He's him. He's not split. He's not a left and right clicker on the mouse. He is Otani. Now, what are you going to do with him?
Yeah.
He's not hurt. He's not on IR. So you're not going to be able to put Otani on the IR because he's not hurt.
Yeah.
So if you want him as a pitcher.
Like you said, originally when we made that rule way back when, that's how we thought about it. How does a Major League Baseball treat it? And that's how they treat it, right? So they got to carry an extra pitcher because he's not pitching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to eat that roster spot. Carry an extra pitcher to cover that until he pitches or whatever. Like you don't get to take advantage of having him split in leagues that I'm involved. I don't like that rule. I will always vote against that rule.
Yeah.
You get the advantage of, I got Otani who hits 35 bombs and steals 40 bags. But you don't have to deal with the other aspect of it to where you lose a roster spot because he's a pitcher. That's kind of that's
He's two people in the big league. So I could have kept him at 12, but I just don't think he's going to pitch. So I went with Bryce Miller instead on the
and that's a better pick.
Yeah.
Bryce Miller is a
The
better
only other one I considered, but again, he can never stay healthy either, was like Correa on a 20.
Carlos Correa.
Mm-hmm.
No, you made the right choice.
But I already had 3 offensive guys with Olsen, Taylor, and Woods. So I kind of wanted a pitcher. So
I don't know if Carlos Correa will ever. I don't know if he'll. I don't know. Carlos Correa. I really like Carlos Correa too. I really like Carlos Correa. It's just the damn.
I just feel like Minnesota's snake bit a little bit like the White Sox were 3 or 4 years ago. Like you might as well just write Correa, Lewis to the IR, just like you used to write Eloy and Robert to the IR and Makata.
And Buxton, just write them over there.
Yeah, and Buxton, yeah. That was a 3, just like it used to be Makata, Eloy, and Robert. Just write them into the IR. It's just not a matter of if, it's just when.
Yeah, it's just when. Yeah, so, I mean, shit, Makata's on, he's better go on IL right now.
Yeah, thumb.
It's like, what the fuck?
Right.
You know? I mean, it's just, it's funny. It's funny looking back now. Him and TA are on the same team again, and it's the same. Like I was, you know me, I was a Makata. Like I love Makata. Then it was just like I really don't care.
Yeah, and I know back in the day, like whatever people didn't understand, but you talked about the value. I don't know how much time we talked about on Spaces. Like he was due $55 million. Like he never should have been here anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Real quick before we get up out of here, one last thing. Oh shit! I didn't even do that. So right now on Sports Track or White Sox, as far as their payroll, I wanted to just real quick, as far as contracts, payroll, so on and so forth. They are we're sitting at pull up the. Why is it not pulling up like that one? Highest paid player is the highest paid player is Andrew Benintendi, by the way.
Yeah. Another great Band-Aid contract. Hey, we got a whole bunch of guys that chase and whiff. Let's try to add Benintendi to the mix.
Yeah. There. So let me. Why is this thing like not giving me what I want? Oh, I see what I did. I hit contract instead of payroll. All right. Okay. So current allocations 55 mil, 55.8. Allocations projected 67.7.
I'm looking forward to the second half. I want to see who they can trade, who they can get. Where does Robert end up? Let's bring up the young kids, let them start playing a little bit.
Yeah, I mean Robert, but this is why I brought it up because I saw this the other day. Arbitration 3 bypass. What the fuck does that mean?
What's it say?
Arbitration 3 bypassed.
Yeah. So they signed him to they bought out his arbitration years. They gave him an extension. So he's getting $15 million guaranteed. He's got $15 million guaranteed this year. Robert does, and he's got two $20 million options coming a year behind. They bought out the arbitration. They bought through it, kind of like the Royals just did with Cole Reagans. They bought through it. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Now I was just like, damn, that makes no sense to me.
It's a great way to guarantee players some money and for the club to guarantee control is because they don't make as much. They only make a percentage through arbitration. Like normally kind of how it works is the first year of arbitration, you kind of make 25% of your value. The second year, you kind of make 40. The last year, you kind of make 50, 55% of your overall value. So you can bump those numbers to what they could kind of be making. You were already on the hook for some. and then add a couple more years. So you've seen it done here. A few people have bought out arbitrations. Cole Reagan's being one of the last ones I can remember. But the Royals bought him out and gave him a couple more years and get him some guaranteed money.
Yes, because I was looking at because I like I said the other night I was watching uh not watching, I was studying like rosters, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to understand that's like some of the things the White Sox are dealing with when we had that conversation. And I was like, okay, looking at the contracts, um, like every all the players that we talk about all the time, all in pre-arc, they just haven't, they haven't made the team, or so not necessarily made the team, but they're, like Baroa, he's hurt now, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, Cannon, like I didn't realize that Cannon was, this if you just see the guys, I don't know why this guy is on my fucking screen. Get him out of here. Uh, like Oscar Colas, people want him gone. He still has one option. Right?
Yeah. It's just
Sean Burke.
Finally made it right. Sean Burke was the 3rd round choice in the year they drafted Colson and the high school kid that plays 3rd. Shoot.
Brian Ramos.
No. They drafted a kid out of high school that played 3rd. He should be on there somewhere.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Never really Baldwin? Materialized. What's that?
Is it Baldwin?
No.
It wasn't Brooks Baldwin?
What year was that? The 21 draft?
Third. It's Rom.
Plays third base. Down the deal. I want to say it starts with an E, like Ethan or I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Wes Kath.
I don't know. Oh, Wes Kath. Oh shit! I forgot about him. Where's he been? I forgot about that kid.
He struggled bad. He finally had a decent year last year. He can never get the K's under control. But Sean Burke was signed over slot in the 3rd base, pitched at Maryland. He got the opening day nod. So that's
why I brought this up, because I wanted to give Sean Burke his flowers. He is the opening day starter for the Chicago White Sox on the 27th. Everybody thought Jonathan Cannon. I thought Martin Perez because of the veteran. Some people thought Davis Martin should get it. But ultimately, Will Venable said, no, it's Sean Burke. He is opening day starter. He is number 1. And I like it. I like that. That kind of gives you a window of like, hey, we're starting to move into the young guys era, and if you come here as a vet, you're trade bait until we start getting everything back, like legit.
Yeah, and so, Martin, he's never really been. What it is. Yeah, and
I like what he's.
I like that it was actually a contest.
I like the fact that Martin Perez said what he said during the spring. Why he came here.
Sure. And he's going to get a chance to pitch. They're going to look to move him, or whatever. But I'm checking something really fast, like to nobody's surprise. Now, you want to guess who the top 3 most valuable players are on the White Sox trade value wise? Is Noah Schultz, Hagen Smith, Sean Burke.
Those are the top 3 on baseball trade values?
Yeah.
Hold on. Where's Grant Taylor? I bet he's like next.
Yeah, he's like 5 or 6 down, but he's flying up the charts.
Yeah.
Davis Martin's there, like Kyle Teal's there. Montgomery's tied with Burke. Well, yeah, they're basically the same. Montgomery and Burke are the same trade value wise. But to give you an idea, 2 years ago, like Montgomery was like by far the number 1 with like 70 or 80 trade value. Now it's down in the 20s. But Cannon, like, it's going to be interesting. Uriarte's on here, Drew Thorpe, Luis Robert, Miguel Vargas. We should have probably talked about him some. Cuero's on here, Kyle Teal's on here, Braden Montgomery's on here. So, I mean, if you're looking at your top 10 Trade value contract wise, White Sox. Noah Schultz, Hagen Smith, Sean Burke, Colson Montgomery, Kyle Teal, Braden Montgomery, Jonathan Cannon, Ed Quero, Davis Martin, Drew Thorpe. That's your top 10.
Robin not on there?
Luis Roberts, 11.
And he's losing value every day.
Yeah, he's down to 13. He was like 30 something when we were talking initially about trying to move him.
Yep. And he's down to 13.
Yeah.
Oh, well. You know, I mean, when we say 13, we're talking about just the number.
Basically, so everybody understands when we say it's 13-2, it's basically you equate it to million. He's worth $13 million in prospects.
Yeah.
And he's getting paid $15 million this year. So you basically, the way you think about that is he's a $28 million player. That's a rough way to think about this.
Yeah. But, you know, this was fun. I'm so happy we got a chance to
Yeah, buddy, me too.
Talk ball, bro. Like,
me too. Good luck with all your mom stuff.
Yeah.
Through that.
And shout out to your dad and
yeah.
Your
I gotta go see him right now. So
yeah, all of the above, and you know, and shout out to everybody that's watching. Like I said earlier, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. Thank you for supporting all the shows on the Juke Train channel. We're trying to just keep it growing. We're growing. Appreciate you guys. If you're on YouTube, please just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. If you're on X, if you can slide over to YouTube, do that for me. But we appreciate everybody being here. We thank you for watching the Pickoff Show with Eric and Ray. We're going to have some special guests. We got some other things coming down the pipeline. We're going to keep pressing on as far as all the things we got coming.
Yeah, we're going to find a night so we can do a little more consistently. But
yeah, we're going to find a night where it's be more consistent because Mondays are just not as good for me.
But it's baseball season. We're 12 hours from first pitch, basically.
Are we? Fuck yeah, we are. Damn.
12 and a half
yeah.
hours. 12 and a half hours.
Holy shit, man. Like I said, in the morning, it's Shota and Maga versus Yamamoto.
Can you imagine what's going on right there right now?
Oh, my God. I couldn't imagine. I just know I used to go to KBO games when I was in Korea. It's fucking insane. It's
going to be nuts tomorrow, right? It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. But thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been the Pickoff Show, and we are out of here. Eric, any last words other than, you know?
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate everybody. I'll call you when I get home tonight, buddy.
All right, man. And I'm done. Thank you, guys. We're going to shut the lights off in here.